So I was going through a bunch of pictures of when I went through chemo and so I was thinking about like all the different people that came that were there that just came and like sat with me when I was going when I was just getting my treatment. And all the people that like my wife, my family. Like when I was going through the oh sorry. I had this like the day of the surgery. Um, I went to my surgery was supposed to be at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something like that, and I wanted to go to work still. And I had like a 5 a.m. client, a 5:30 client in the morning, and I'm not supposed to have anything to eat or drink. So they were gonna remove my right testicle, and so I'm like, I guess I was in just denial that I was gonna go through this, and so I go to 7-Eleven, like my morning ritual. I go to get coffee, and so I go there, do my thing and my training, and then I show up at the hospital. Met my wife, I met my mom, my dad, Amber's parents, family. And so the doctor said, or the nurse said, "Yeah, have you had anything to eat or drink?" And my wife was in nursing school, so she knows like exactly what I should not or shouldn't be doing, should or should not be doing. And she didn't know that I had cappuccino on the way. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I guess it is. And so I had one of those little Starbucks cappuccinos, and so the doctor said, or the nurse said, "Okay, we gotta tell the anesthesiologist because if we put you under, you could throw up and you can die in the middle of surgery." And so I was like, "Oh man, you gotta take care of this because I can't delay this. I gotta get the surgery done." So they gave me a little concoction and whatever it was in that drink. Like I started feeling like really anxious and nauseous. And I guess it's supposed to get it out of your stomach so that you don't throw it up. And so I start panicking, and I said, "Hey, you guys gotta." I'm just freaking out. Like, gotta get this going. I gotta get out of here. And I wanted to run. I wanted to go home. I didn't screw getting my testicle taken. And so I get I get on the table, and I'm having almost like a full blown panic attack. And so I'm laying there, like everyone's like surrounding my bed, the bed with the wheels on it, and I'm like, I know who's there, and I know who's there. I remember seeing their faces and hearing them, but then like I only heard their voices because I closed my eyes really tight, like like a kid, like squeeze and hope the world just disappears and then the world can't see them anymore. And that's kind of like how I was feeling. But I can hear everyone like, "Josh, everything's gonna be okay," and tears are coming, rolling out my eyes because I'm freaked out, I'm scared, and like I'm gripping somebody's hand. I don't even know whose it is, and and I hear this, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. They like saying it like whispering, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And so I looked up, and it was my dad. Some like my dad and I haven't had the greatest relationship growing up. He's always been there, like, and I just been a rebellious kid, I guess. And I had a flashback of like when I was like 13, 12 or 13 years old, and I broke my hand. I broke my wrist, and I had to get the bone reset, and the doctor, my dad was so pissed that he had to get off of work early because he was a letter carrier, and so we end up at the doctor's office, and he says, I asked him, I said, Dad, is it gonna hurt? He's like, yeah, son, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot, but everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it. You know, us tunings, we're fighters. I said, all right, Dad, we're gonna get through this. And so the doctor said, oh, it's something we gotta reset. That means that they have to re-break it. I said, no, I can't do it. No, don't do that, don't do that. And I'm crying, and my dad starts crying a little bit. He grabs my hand, he said, squeeze as hard as you can. He says, I don't care how bad it hurts. How bad do you think you hurt my hand? Squeeze as hard as you can. So I squeezed, and I screamed, and I was crying, and my dad is not that, he's not a soft guy. He's not at all. But if he sees other guys crying, like he gets choked up. I haven't seen him cry that many times growing up. And those of you who know my dad, you know what I'm talking about. But I just had that flashback of I was squeezing his hand, like at a subconscious level, I guess. Like when the pain is too great, and just squeeze his hand. So I'm going through all these pictures, and I was just thinking, like, God, man, like, we go through so much shit in our lives, and you don't have to go through cancer. You don't have to go through lupus or whatever to understand that life sometimes has its ups and downs. Sometimes has its downs as much as it has its ups, and sometimes you feel like you can't fight anymore, and you can't. And so I'm thinking about this kid named, I think his name is Lucas. And I'm on his fan page, and I messaged his dad today, and I was like, tell Lucas about, I think that's his name, hopefully it is his name, about Muhammad Ali's rope-a-dope, and when he fought Foreman, and I think it was Foreman, in the Rumble in the Jungle, it was like 1974. He had this look on his face like he wasn't ever going to be able to defeat Foreman because Foreman was out punching him, hit harder than him. He had a look in his eyes that he was going to lose this fight. And so for round after round, he leaned up against the ropes and took those hits, and he pretended that he was hurt and that none of the punches were fading him. And then all of a sudden, when Foreman wasted his energy, he just cut loose. And he won the fight. Sometimes you gotta do the rope-a-dope in life, right? And hoping that the enemy of your soul, the enemy of your joy, is gonna lose its fight to keep going and keep pursuing you because it's wasting its energy. And sometimes you got to squeeze somebody's hand hard. When you're afraid, you're scared, you don't know what to do, sometimes you got to squeeze somebody's hand. It means, hey, when stuff scares you, admit it. If you're scared, if you're sad. Sometimes, like when you're taking things for granted in life, sometimes you got to revisit when you're low points. And that's what I was doing. I wasn't like consciously doing it. I was just going through these photos on Facebook, and just got me thinking, about my relationship with my dad and the shit that I went through with cancer, the ups and the downs of that, and then being blessed enough to have all these beautiful people in my life that were there for me. Blessed. I'm blessed. So, woo, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, I'm just, got me thinking. That's all. I pray you all have a wonderful day, and the Lord is blessing you, whether you acknowledge it, admit it or not, or notice it or not, He is. As soon as you open your eyes and you look at all the stuff that you have going for you in your life, your friends, your family, none of that stuff can be taken from you, man. You know what I'm saying. It can be taken from you in an instant. Just don't take any of it for granted. Never. So, love you guys. And I keep looking down because it's my baby. She keeps trying to get me to scratch. So I keep getting distracted. I was like, what the heck am I going to say? Like, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, I hope y'all have a blessed day, y'all. And God bless you. Peace. Say peace, Angel. Say peace. Say peace. Peace. She doesn't know how to say peace. It's not her vocabulary.